Welcome to another episode of our Mandatory Melanin-Rich Culture Mental Liberation Series, produced by Baba Jelani Bhumani Dembe, founder of Majestic Mind Matters University. I'm your royal narrator, Queen Magical Melanin, for this new episode titled, "The 4th of July is actually not for us and now they are trying to own Juneteenth." The 4th of July, also known as Independence Day, is a national holiday in the United States that commemorates the signing of the Declaration of Independence on July 4, 1776. For white Americans, this day is a time to celebrate their freedom, liberty, and patriotism. However, for our melanin-rich people, born in America due to chattel enslavement, the 4th of July does not hold the same significance as it does for white Americans. In fact, for us, the 4th of July is not our Independence Day. The Declaration of Independence, the document that the 4th of July commemorates, famously states that all men are created equal and are endowed with certain unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. However, the reality is that these principles were not applied equally to us at the time of the Declaration's signing, and they continue to be denied to us, the melanin-rich culture people in America today. The Declaration of Independence, a foundational document of American ideals, proclaims equality and inalienable rights for us as well. However, these principles were not universally upheld then or now, highlighting a persistent contradiction in America's dark history and current realities. While the document's words emphasize equality and rights, historical and present discrimination against marginalized groups, specifically us, reveal a stark discrepancy between the ideals professed and the lived experiences of melanin-rich people born in America due to chattel enslavement. From the very beginning of American history, we were excluded from the rights and freedoms that were promised in the Declaration of Independence. Enslaved melanin-rich people born in America, due to chattel enslavement, were not considered equal to white Americans and were denied our freedom, subjected to inhumane treatment, and treated as property rather than as human beings. Even after the abolition of chattel enslavement, we continued to face discrimination, segregation, and violence at the hands of white Americans. The unfavorable legacy of chattel enslavement and systemic racism has had lasting effects on our communities in America. From economic disparities and educational inequality to police brutality and mass incarceration, we continue to face significant barriers to full equality and freedom in this country. The 4th of July, with its celebrations of freedom and independence, feels hollow and hypocritical to us, since we continue to be marginalized and oppressed. For us, our true Independence Day is not the 4th of July, but rather a day that celebrates our resilience, resistance, and struggle for equality and justice. Juneteenth, celebrated on June 19th, commemorates the emancipation of our enslaved ancestors in Texas in 1865, more than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. Juneteenth represents the ongoing fight for freedom and equality for our melanin-rich culture communities and serves as a reminder of the persistence of racism and injustice in America. In recent years, there has been a growing recognition of Juneteenth as a significant holiday for us in America. Many cities and states have declared it a state holiday, and there have been calls for it to be recognized as a national holiday. Juneteenth celebrations often include parades, festivals, and gatherings that highlight the contributions and achievements of melanin-rich culture people and acknowledge our continued struggle for justice and equality. Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day or Emancipation Day, is a significant holiday in American history, specifically for melanin-rich culture people born in America due to chattel enslavement. It commemorates the emancipation of melanin-rich culture people born in America due to chattel enslavement in the United States. On June 19, 1865, Union soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas, with news that the Civil War had ended and that our enslaved ancestors were now free. This announcement came 2.5 years after President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. Initially, Juneteenth was celebrated primarily in Texas, but over time it has spread to other states and gained recognition as an important day seemingly in American history. However, as the holiday has become more mainstream, there is concern among melanin-rich culture people born in America, due to chattel enslavement, community that its true significance is being diluted due to white commercialization. One of the main reasons for this concern is the growing trend of cities and states declaring Juneteenth a state holiday. While this may seem like a step in the right direction in terms of recognizing the importance of the holiday, leading to the commercialization of Juneteenth. When a holiday becomes recognized by the government, it loses its grassroots authenticity and co-opted by corporations looking to profit from it. For example, we have seen an increase in the marketing of Juneteenth-themed products and events in recent years. While it is certainly positive to see the holiday getting more attention and recognition by us, there is a danger that its true significance has been overshadowed by the white commercialization of it. When white companies use Juneteenth as a marketing tool to sell products or services, leading to the holiday becoming more about consumerism than about honoring the struggles and achievements of our melanin-rich culture people born in America, due to chattel enslavement. Furthermore, the white commercialization of Juneteenth perpetuates harmful stereotypes and perpetuates cultural appropriation. For example, we have seen instances of non-Black individuals profiting off of Juneteenth by appropriating melanin-rich culture and history for their own gain. This not only disrespects the true meaning of our holiday, but also contributes to the erasure of our melanin-rich culture voices and experiences, not forgetting how the trivialization of a holiday meant for us diminishes honor for the ancestors. Additionally, the white commercialization of Juneteenth leads to a superficial understanding of its history and actual significance. When white businesses and white organizations reduce Juneteenth to a one-day event or promotion, they fail to acknowledge the ongoing struggles and inequalities that our melanin-rich culture people continue to face. By commodifying Juneteenth, white businesses openly reinforce the risk of erasing the true meaning of our holiday and overlooking the importance of racial justice and equality. It is important to remember that Juneteenth is not just a day to celebrate freedom, but also a day to reflect on the long and difficult journey that our ancestors have faced in the pursuit of liberation and equality. By allowing commercial interests to overshadow the true significance of Juneteenth, we risk losing sight of the holiday's roots and the struggles that have defined it. While it is important to celebrate Juneteenth and recognize its significance in America's dark history, we must also be vigilant in protecting its true meaning from Caucasian commercialization. By keeping the focus on honoring the struggles and accomplishments of the ancestors, we can ensure that Juneteenth remains a meaningful and authentic holiday for our melanin-rich people, born in America, due to chattel enslavement. While the 4th of July continues to be a day of celebration for white Americans, it is important to remember that for us, independence and freedom hasn't always been easily attainable. The struggles and sacrifices of our people has been integral to the advancement of civil rights and social justice in this country, and their contributions should be acknowledged and honored. The 4th of July is not the Independence Day for us in America. The unfavorable legacy of chattel enslavement, racism, and discrimination has created deep-seated inequalities that continue to impact our melanin-rich culture communities to this day. Juneteenth, with its focus on freedom, resilience, and justice, represents a more meaningful Independence Day for us and serves as a reminder of the ongoing fight for equality and liberation for us here in America. The celebration of the 4th of July, also known as Independence Day, is a time when white Americans come together to commemorate the Declaration of Independence and the birth of the United States as a nation. However, for us, this holiday can serve as a stark reminder of the exclusion and marginalization we have experienced throughout American history. There are several ways in which the celebration of the 4th of July inadvertently excludes and marginalizes us, the people with more melanin in our skin. Firstly, it is important to consider the historical context of the 4th of July. While the Declaration of Independence declared the 13 American colonies free from British rule, it did not grant freedom or equal rights to all inhabitants of the newly formed nation. Our melanin-rich ancestors continued to face discrimination, oppression, and systemic barriers to equality long after the signing of the Declaration of Independence. For our communities, the 4th of July is a painful reminder of the ongoing struggles for liberation and justice that have characterized our experience here in the United States. Secondly, the symbolism of patriotism that is often associated with the 4th of July celebrations contributes to the exclusion of melanin-rich individuals. The waving of the American flag, the singing of the national anthem, an anthem that actually includes racism, is contextual form, and the display of fireworks are all traditional ways in which white Americans express their patriotism on their Independence Day. However, for individuals who have been historically marginalized by this country's institutions and systems, these symbols of patriotism do not hold the same meaning or significance. In fact, for our melanin-rich culture individuals, these symbols actually serve as reminders of the exclusion and discrimination we still have faced at the hands of the American government and society globally. Furthermore, the lack of participation of our melanin-rich culture people in 4th of July celebrations demonstrates the honor we have for the ancestors. The focus on highlighting the achievements and contributions of white Americans during Independence Day festivities often ignores the diverse experiences and histories of our melanin-rich culture individuals from marginalized communities. This lack of representation sends a message to us that our voices, struggles, and contributions are not valued or recognized within the broader narrative of American dark history and identity. Moreover, the systemic inequalities that persist in American society is magnified during 4th of July celebrations, further alienating us. Racial disparities in wealth, education, healthcare, and criminal justice are just a few examples of the systemic injustices that disproportionately impact communities. For us, these inequalities create barriers to fully participating in or enjoying the holiday festivities, as we are constantly reminded of our marginalized status within American society. The celebration of the 4th of July excludes and marginalizes us in a number of ways. From the historical context of the holiday to the symbolism of patriotism, the lack of representation, and the systemic inequalities that exist within American society, it is important to recognize and address these issues in order to create a more inclusive and equitable celebration of Independence Day. By acknowledging our experiences and contributions, we can work towards a more unified and just society for us as well. Here are just 10 ways we can educate ourselves about the dark complexities of American history and the perspectives of our marginalized communities during 4th of July celebrations. 1. Reading books and articles written by melanin-rich culture authors that highlight different perspectives on America's dark history and the experiences of our marginalized communities. 2. Attending lectures, panels, or discussions on American history and social issues that focus on our marginalized communities. 3. Visiting museums or historical sites that showcase the stories and experiences of marginalized communities in America's dark history. 4. Engaging in conversations with friends, family, and community members about the complexities of America's dark history and the importance of understanding its perspectives. 5. Supporting and promoting events, initiatives, and organizations that aim to educate the public about our marginalized communities and our contributions to American history. 6. Encouraging schools, libraries, and community centers to incorporate melanin-rich culture perspectives and resources on America's dark history into their programming and curriculum. 7. Reflecting on and discussing the ways in which historical events and policies have impacted our marginalized communities and continue to affect us today. 8. Using social media platforms and other digital resources to share educational materials, resources, and stories that highlight marginalized perspectives about America's dark history. 9. Participating in community service or advocacy efforts that support our marginalized communities and work towards social justice and equity. 10. Taking time to listen to the stories and experiences of our melanin-rich culture marginalized communities and actively seeking to understand and learn from our perspectives. Here are 5 literary works written by melanin-rich culture authors that touch on the theme of the 4th of July, exploring various aspects of Americana, history, culture, and personal experiences. Here are a few notable books that you might find interesting. 1. The Fire This Time. A new generation speaks about race, edited by Jessamine Ward, a collection of essays and poems that reflect on the historical significance of the 4th of July for melanin-rich culture people born in Americans, due to chattel enslavement. 2. What of the Slave is the 4th of July, by Frederick Douglass, an iconic speech by the legendary abolitionist Frederick Douglass that challenges the hypocrisy of celebrating freedom and independence while chattel enslavement existed. 3. Red, White, and Black, The Peoples of Early America by Gary B. Nash, explores the complex interactions between Native Americans, Europeans, and melanin-rich people born in America due to chattel enslavement in early America, shedding light on the different perspectives on the 4th of July. 4. Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, An American Slave, by Frederick Douglass. Douglass's memoir recounts his journey from chattel enslavement to freedom, offering a powerful reflection on the meaning of independence and liberation. 5. The Cooking Gene, A Journey Through Melanin-Rich People Born in America Due to Chattel Enslavement, Culinary History in the Old South, by Michael W. Twitty, explores the intersections of food, culture, and history, including the ways in which melanin-rich people born in America due to chattel enslavement have contributed to the culinary traditions of America. These 5 awesome literary works offer insightful perspectives on the 4th of July and the dark tapestry of American history, inviting readers to engage with the holiday in a more nuanced and critical light. Frederick Douglass' speech, What to the Slave is the 4th of July, delivered on July 5, 1852, remains a powerful and haunting indictment of the hypocrisy inherent in melanin-rich people born in America due to chattel enslavement. Celebrating American independence while millions of melanin-rich people born in America due to chattel enslavement remained enslaved. Frederick Douglass, himself a formerly enslaved turned abolitionist leader, delivers a searing critique of the America's failure to live up to the ideals of freedom and equality enshrined in the Declaration of Independence. In his speech, Frederick Douglass challenges his audience to confront the stark reality of chattel enslavement in America and the profound dissonance between the lofty principles of liberty and justice for all espoused by the founders and the brutal reality faced by millions of melanin-rich people born in America due to chattel enslavement. Yet they were still enslaved. He questions the legitimacy of celebrating a holiday that is meant to commemorate the freedom and independence of the nation while denying that same freedom to a significant portion of its population, our melanin-rich ancestors in America, still entrapped by chattel enslavement. Frederick Douglass uses powerful language and vivid imagery to convey the horrors of slavery and the deep-seated injustices faced by our melanin-rich ancestors entangled due to chattel enslavement in America. He draws attention to the inhumanity of chattel enslavement, describing it as a system that dehumanizes, exploits, and brutalizes its victims, our melanin-rich ancestors. He exposes the harsh realities of the life of chattel enslavement, highlighting the physical and emotional toll of bondage and the deprivations suffered by our enslaved ancestors. Moreover, Frederick Douglass challenges his audience to confront their role in perpetuating the institution of chattel enslavement through their tacit acceptance or complicity in the system. He calls on them to recognize their own moral culpability in supporting a society built on the backs of enslaved melanin-rich people labor and to take action to rectify these injustices. Frederick Douglass also critiques the hypocrisy of a nation that professes to be a beacon of freedom and democracy while denying basic human rights to a significant portion of its population. He points out the double standards and contradictions inherent in a society that proclaims equality and justice for all while engaging in the systematic oppression and dehumanization of an entire race. In his speech, Frederick Douglass underscores the need for a radical reevaluation of American society and its values. He calls for a fundamental reexamination of the nation's founding principles and a commitment to uphold the principles of freedom, equality, and justice for us as well. He challenges his audience to reject complacency and apathy in the face of injustice and to actively work towards building a more just and equitable society. While delivered over 150 years ago, Frederick Douglass' speech remains relevant and resonant today. The unfavorable legacy of chattel enslavement and its enduring impact on American society continues to shape our understanding of race, identity, and justice. Frederick Douglass' words serve as a powerful reminder of the ongoing struggle for equality and freedom faced by marginalized melanin-rich culture communities in America. In conclusion, Frederick Douglass' speech, "What to the Slave is the 4th of July?" stands as a timeless and impassioned critique of the hypocrisy and injustice of celebrating American independence while millions of melanin-rich culture people remained in chattel enslavement. Through his powerful rhetoric and searing indictment of the nation's failings, Frederick Douglass challenges his audience to confront the uncomfortable truths of American history and to strive towards a more just and equitable society for melanin-rich people as well. His words serve as a call to action and a reminder of the enduring struggle for freedom and equality faced by our oppressed melanin-rich culture communities here in America. I'm your royal narrator, Queen Magical Melanin. We trust that you have expanded your understanding through the insights shared by Baba Jelani Bomani Dembe, founder of Majestic Mind Matters University, in our Mandatory Mental Liberation Series message titled, "The 4th of July is actually not for us and now they are trying to own Juneteenth." Remember this, it is essential to honor the ancestors. We have a unique connection to the ancestors. They endured many unwarranted struggles, preserved our melanin-rich culture, and passed down invaluable wisdom through many generations. By honoring the ancestors, we pay honorable tribute to our roots and draw great strength and much-needed inspiration from the unwavering resilience and royal legacy that has paved the way for our present and future generations. Ancestral reverence is a powerful way for us to continually uphold our own melanin-rich identity, heritage, and cultural legacy. Here is an ancient Alkebulan proverb to keep in mind. If you think you are too small to make a difference, you have not spent the night with a mosquito. Remember this as well, whenever you are in the presence of anyone, saying, "They don't see color," it actually means, "They don't see you." As a member of our melanin-rich culture, you must strive for knowledge of self for greater personal awareness. Always treat yourself kindly and seek to live a totally awesome and gloriously fulfilling melanin-rich culture life. So, like, subscribe, and share this very special melanin-rich culture link with everyone that you care about and that really cares about you and all of yours as well, and thank you for listening.